Okay, guys, hello. Let's do another movie. Um, this one will be about finding finding your. You know, often when we start manifesting, we say, "Oh, reach out for better feeling, tune into whatever," and sorry, and so on. And of course, you can do that. Um, But there's another way that is even funnier, or maybe. So, sorry guys. So basically, what your focus point is, point of focus. What you imagine to me, or what you see in reality, what you're focusing on is what you could get more of, right? That makes sense, right? So why do you want to focus on something negative? Here's a very interesting thing. Actually, I do this in with my potential clients or my clients. Always in the first call is find a point of attraction, which is the most dominant negative. One. That sounds counterproductive to focus on something negative, right? But here's why it is so super effective. So let's imagine you're a boat with an anchor. So, and it is your frequency on the state of happiness. Happy, not happy, right? So mostly say, oh, let's tune into higher, happier, happier state and so on, right? But actually, you can also just do, what the heck is keeping me out of the freaking happy state? There must be some sort of heavy, dominant, negative emotion in me, under the surface somewhere, an anchor, sadness, or frustration, anger, all that stuff. There must be something like that holds me down. So you can also just say, rather than trying to pull you up all the time, you can also say, what can I release from this anchor so I start floating up, right? That's so simple, no? Manifesting is not so difficult in the very basics. Deliberate manifesting, we always 100% manifesting our reality, but deliberate manifesting is just learning to understand a little bit better how and why you created stuff, so you can learn easier why certain things happening, and understand that you are a full integrated being with your reality, and you can course correct yourself easier to your desired version without effort and without hurting yourself and the others. That's actually what we are talking about, right? So, let's give an example. You have you can imagine now for yourself an emotion which you experience as. I run through a few with my client, but with the people. Just first of all, you can just ask yourself, what is the most dominant negative emotion that you encounter right now? That could be anger, for example. And then you can ask yourself, what would be the most dominant negative emotion that I feel at work? It could be anger too, or this may be frustration, sadness, or something. And then you can ask yourself about past work relationships, and then you can ask yourself about love life, maybe there's sadness, also angerness. It can be a mix of things. And then for example, money, maybe fear or frustration. And then you can have, for example, within your family, certain things. Your father, if you think about it, mother, Maybe there's frustration, maybe sadness or disappointment, right? And then maybe you have a disease, and you can see what brings up that emotion, right? Maybe disempowerment, feeling some sort of yeah. And then maybe you have had a trigger in your life somehow at some point, past trauma, a friend died, or you will be treated not well at school, or it can be anything, right? So they can also create overwhelm, something like. So there's like a lot of things that. So basically, and then you can have you pull that out, and then you have most people have like 2, 3 most dominant negative emotions. So let's say one comes up. Let's say if you say you have done that list for yourself, and some emotion of let's say fear. Let's say you have fear. That is actually meaning false evidence, appearing real. Is that two piece? Yeah, my English bit dyslexic. So like this is for later. So and then you can start to ask yourself what you must believe to be true to experience fear right now. It can be I'm not. You could for example say I feel fear because something could overcome me in the future. And then you can ask yourself, you are afraid that something in the future could overcome you, and then ask yourself, yeah, something that has overwhelmed me already in the past, so I'm afraid that it will happen again. And then you can ask yourself, yeah, okay, that's logic, because if you believed this about yourself, it must have happened this again because based on this programming, right? So if you eliminate the fear, you will not encounter life circumstances anymore that you feel fear, right? Or you do not perceive them as fear anymore. So you can ask yourself: are you afraid of being fear? That's another level. But you can also you're still afraid for something in the future, as you now know that the physical mind is not designed to carve out the future desires of the path in the future. The physical mind is not designed to find a solution for something the day after. It's only designed to imagine how it could look like. It is designed to imagine your ideal version, but it could imagine how a day and tomorrow would look like, but it cannot actually know exactly what's going to happen. And if you want and you insist about what needs to happen tomorrow, you cannot trust that what happens for you tomorrow is actually perfect, what you need to understand. Then you create more of that seemingly fearful life circumstances. It's not so much that life is against you, but more that it proves to you what you believe it to be, you based on this fear. So the more you can eliminate fear out of your system, the less you create fearful life circumstances, or the ones that you perceive as fear, right? Not watching too much news, fearful news or something like that. So then you can ask yourself, let's say the fear between 0 and 10 was like a 6, and then you can say right now you know that your physical mind doesn't have to figure things out for the next day. You now also know that if you practice fearful beliefs, feelings, you create more of that. So we now know that it's now your job to eliminate the fear out of your system. So you now know that the future unfolding will not mirror this back anymore. Yes. Okay, so now maybe because you have reframed a few things, it could drop until a 5, right? And this is how you can peel off all kind of branches of limiting beliefs. So let's say it's now 5. Now you also know, because what you believe to be in the future, what you hold in your frame is what you're going to see, and the physical mind doesn't have to, create that path. How relaxing that actually is, right? So now you can say, okay, it's 5, all right, and then you can ask yourself, yeah, it's still a 5, because I don't know what the fearless life is. It feels weird to me to have not fear in my life, and then you ask yourself, it feels uncomfortable, and I do not know if I can get there. And then you can ask yourself, is it a true desire to live fearlessness? Yes. So would you agree that if your higher self beaming at you that you can have a fearlessness life, that version must already exist, otherwise it cannot be imagined? Yes. Okay. So would you agree that version of you can be materialized in a 3D? Yes, because I believe that, what I can imagine can manifest. All right. So maybe it has dropped to 4, right? Then you can ask yourself another question. Still a 4, because I don't know how to get to fearlessness in my life, how to get to that version. So, and then you can ask yourself, reframe yourself again. Would you agree that it's not your responsibility for the physical mind to figure out how you eliminate this, but it's only your physical mind's job to embody that future desired version of fearlessness, which is probably ease, and then your higher self help you to reveal through life circumstances this, to eliminate this fear, that comes up from the unconscious program through the subconscious program and wants to be reframed and transformed as we right now do. So it will lower over time, right? Yes. Oh, wow, this is crazy. Right? So it's now 3, right? And then you can say, yeah, I still fear because I think I can create something so big, so much fear, that I think that I can, it can overwhelm me, right? And then you can reframe that again. Would you agree with me that you cannot create something bigger than you are? You only create an appearance that you are doing that, because the reality happens through you, and your reality is just a reflection of your beliefs. So reality happens more through you than overcoming you. Although you can create appearance if you believe that, so, right? Bit mind twist, but you have to believe me that the reality is just a mirror, right? So what you send out comes back. So if you do work in your ego structure, your reality has to reflect something back. So you have to have the dominant frame of your desire stronger than the resistance of your ego structure that doesn't believe that. That's a bit of the trick. So okay, I accept that. I have read a bit about law of attraction. I have read a bit about the structure of reality. Yes, okay, I can accept that. I can, it drops even more. It's becoming 2. And then you can ask yourself again, it's still not a 0, because I'm tired of facing all the times these fears and transform them. It's too much for me, this. And then would you agree with that, the universe is, if you ask a soft solution and you go step by step, the universe will not give you larger chunks than really needed. And if you get a big chunk, then the higher self also knows that you are capable of handling it. Yes, okay, we're going to relax a bit more. So now it's 1. And when the next one would be, then you ask yourself, I will be super afraid if I have a big, large chunk, because I think I cannot handle it. And you fill it in, there's so many answers. So you want to be persistent and consistency enough to get that to 0. In their answers, I'm filling in answers, things, but if you start learn to dialogue with your unconscious programming, best to do it first with someone. That's what we will learn in the coaching, how I help to construct these things, patterns for yourself, so you know what your unconscious programming looks like. You just clean out all out of your system, and that's so liberating. So this is a small example. So now we have focused on the boat. This is a boat, right? Oh man, and we have released fear in a extremely short time. and the boat will become now a balloon almost. Um, and you're flying high without efforting or without active practicing a high vibration. Because if you vibrating a high five frequency and you're not releasing that low frequency, you can create also a bit of a friction, unhealthy. Like you pretend to be super high vibe, but you're feeling it not, and because you do not look at it. So this is a bit of a play. What we what you can learn, what you can play with, and I hope it helps. And wish everybody a beautiful day. Take care. Bye bye.